The night I boarded the wrong ship, I wasn't thinking about interstellar travel, diplomacy with alien species, or the consequences of sleep deprivation. I was thinking about coffee. Specifically, how badly I needed one before my 0400 cargo tech shift. The artificial sunrise lighting in docking terminal 6 was barely flickering online when the announcement chime blared overhead. All outbound personnel, prepare for security sweep. I sprinted for the closest access ramp, thinking it was shuttle C-19, the one I'd taken every single morning from the station to the outer cargo rigs. My badge scanned green. The hatch hissed open. I trudged inside, collapsed into the nearest restraint seat, and closed my eyes, confident that in 10 minutes I'd be half awake and sorting our manifests. I didn't even notice the ship lifting off, or accelerating far, far faster than any shuttle had a right to. When I woke, the hum in the air was deeper, richer, nothing like the rattling shuttle engines I'd grown used to. I blinked, sat up, and froze. The walls weren't standard Union issue gray. They were a shimmering copper-blue material that shifted like liquid metal under soft bioluminescent lights. I definitely wasn't on shuttle C-19. Footsteps approached. 3 sets, light and synchronized. I stood, hands instinctively raised as the door slid open. They entered like a triad of mirrored figures. Tall, slender, moving with a graceful precision that made my human limbs feel clumsy in comparison. Their skin ranged from pale lavender to deep cerulean. Their hair, where they had it, sparkled faintly like threads catching starlight. They wore fitted uniforms, scales of porous material that adjusted texture as they moved. The one in front stepped forward and tilted her head. "Unidentified Terran male," she said, her voice melodic with a slight reverberation. "State your designation." I'm Rian Calder," I stammered. "Cargo technician. And I'm pretty sure I'm on the wrong ship." The 3 exchanged glances, subtle but clearly meaningful. "This is the Varelian research cruiser Lysithea," the leader said. "No humans were scheduled to board." "Great. I broke onto an alien ship. Accidentally. Before breakfast." "I swear it was an accident," I said quickly. "If you just turn around or drop me at the nearest." "We cannot turn around." A new voice echoed from behind them. Another alien woman entered, taller than the others, with deeper blue skin and glowing sigils across her temples. She looked like someone used to being obeyed. "I am Captain Siralis," she said. "Our jump drive has already initiated multi-layer drift. We will not be in Union space for several cycles." Several cycles. I didn't know what that meant, but it sounded too long. Okay. Can I at least send a message? Tell my supervisor I'm not skipping work." A few of them exchanged puzzled looks. Siralis stepped closer. "Terran, our customs bind us to a principle. If one unknowingly crosses into Varelian territory, especially aboard a vessel, they are considered under crew protection until the return cycle." He paused. "In traditional terms, claimed." Cough. "Claimed. Like kidnapped." "No," she said, frowning. "Claimed for protection and responsibility. You will be cared for, guided, and integrated as a temporary member of the crew. You may not wander unaccompanied until we determine your needs." I wasn't sure if that was better or worse. Middle, learning the crew and the consequences. Life aboard the Lysithea was equal parts surreal and enlightening. The crew, all women as far as I could tell, operated with military precision but had a warmth beneath their structure that reminded me more of a family than a command hierarchy. Siralis assigned an officer named Viare as my liaison. She had a quiet, analytical demeanor and was fascinated by human physiology. Every morning she checked on me with questions. "Terran Rian, you require heated liquids each cycle. For cognitive function. It's called coffee, I explained. It's tradition. And also survival. She entered notes into a floating holoslate. We will replicate this coffee. If it sustains you, it is our duty. Another crew member, Lareth, oversaw physical training. She insisted humans were too fragile for spaceflight and made it her mission to strengthen the claimed one. It was both humiliating and oddly wholesome. But the ship itself overshadowed everything. Corridors that shifted to optimize travel, holographic diagrams showing dimensional drift, laboratories glowing with crystalline data streams. The Varelians weren't just advanced. They were artists with technology. Still, I couldn't shake the reality of my situation. I was stuck here. Days blurred into a routine of guided tours, cultural lessons, and safety protocols. Eventually, Cyralis summoned me to the observation deck. You have adapted well, she said. Your presence has not disrupted our operation. Thank you. I think. She gazed out at the swirling nebula beyond the glass. You should know why the crew regards you with such focus. It is not simply because you boarded unlawfully. He paused. In Varelian tradition, if someone boards without intent to harm and with no knowledge of our path, it is viewed as a sign. A convergence. A cosmic mistake. He offered. A purposeful accident, she corrected gently. One that suggests your presence holds meaning. Even if we do not yet know what. I didn't know how to respond to that. But I knew they weren't holding me prisoner. If anything, they seemed determined to treat me like an honored guest who needed constant supervision. One night, if night applied in deep space, the ship lurched violently. Alarms echoed. The lighting shifted to a defensive red. I was thrown against the wall before I felt Lareth pull me upright. Stay close, she ordered. What's happening? Spatial turbulence, rift breach, she shouted over the alarm. We stumbled into the control deck where Cyralis and the command crew were working rapidly. Dimensional lightning crackled across the viewports as gravitational tides twisted around us. Terran, Cyralis called. Your shuttle training. Can you operate auxiliary stabilizers? Basic level, yeah. It will suffice. Or escort him. I was suddenly part of the team, running down a corridor, climbing into a console alcove, gripping an unfamiliar but intuitive interface. Vera linked the controls to mine. Follow my lead, she instructed. The ship bucked violently. We synchronized stabilizer bursts. An energy surge nearly overloaded the balancing thrusters, but VRA rerouted flow just in time. A final jolt, then silence. The lighting shifted back to calm blues. Exhaled. Rian, well done. Ending a choice to make. After the breach event, the crew treated me differently. Not as a visitor under protection, but as someone who had proven himself. They invited me to strategy meetings, scientific briefings, even casual meals. I started to understand their inside jokes, their rituals, their subtle gestures of humor. At last, after what equated to 3 Terran weeks, Cyralis called me to the central hall where the entire crew stood assembled. Rian Calder, she began. Our course now returns us toward Union space. You will soon be able to go home. A rush of relief and something else, a surprising sadness, hit me. But before that, Cyralis continued, Varelian custom grants you a choice. You may return to your world with no obligation or record of fault, or you may remain aboard the Lysithea as an honorary crew member. Permanently. The crew watched silently, hopeful but respectful. I thought about my life back home. Routine cargo shifts, maintenance schedules, the same coffee shop on deck 4. Predictable. Comfortable. Then I thought of the Lysithea. The glowing halls, the alien stars, the strange but genuine camaraderie I'd found here. I boarded by accident, I said slowly. But staying, that wouldn't be an accident. Cyrillus nodded once. Then speak your choice. Smiled. I want to stay. A ripple of warmth flowed through the assembled crew. Furay's expression softened into something almost luminous. Cyrillus stepped forward. Then, by Varelian decree, you are no longer merely claimed. You are crew. The hall erupted in resonant, harmonious tones, a collective expression of welcome. And so, the wrong ship became the right one. My journey home had never been a path back. It had been a path forward, into a universe far larger than I ever imagined. I had boarded the wrong ship. But I ended up exactly where I belonged.